Hello and welcome to the Transverse Line, where we make contact with people on and off the court through Victoria's premier netball competition. My name's Angela Banbury. Thanks so much for joining us at the Transverse Line. As you can see, it is Pride Round here at the VNL at the State Netball Centre. So lots of colour. The players will have the bibs on or the dresses. I think they're all wearing the socks. So a really great night to bring attention to the LGBT plus community. Of course, it's always brought to you by the RACV as well. So sit back, enjoy the Transverse Line. Let's see who we can grab, a coach, player, umpire, whoever it might be, and have a chat about their netball journey. So stick with us and let's have a little bit of fun through netball. Welcome back to the Transverse Line. I'm joined with Mel Savage from the Geelong Cougars, happens to be the 23 and under coach. Mel, welcome to the Transverse Line.
Thank you, Ange. Thank you.
Very good to have you here. Tell us a little bit about tonight. What have you got on? What's in store?
Yeah, I think we play Blaze tonight, champ and 23s. We match up very well. We play a similar brand of netball, so it's going to be really exciting. Challenge for both teams, but we trained really well on Monday. We've got a very clear plan in both of our games. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice one. I'll put you on the spot a little bit. It's Pride Round. What does that mean to the club to have a Pride Round at VNL?
Yeah, I think it's about being inclusive. You know, sport is a really great evener. That people from all races, religions, sexuality can come together and enjoy sport. So we're really proud to be involved in this round, and it's something that we look forward to every year.
Nice one. We're here on court 3. You've just said it's the coldest court. we need to get some rugs for the girls on the bench. But tell us what it's like coming up the freeway. Can we call it a freeway? I imagine it's pretty bumper to bumper.
Well, there's a lot of stop starting, but it is a freeway.
Yeah.
Look, I look forward to the time in the car by myself. Listen to a podcast. I usually come straight from work at Geelong College, so I do enjoy the drive. It's nice. It's nice to switch off, focus on what we need to do.
Nice one. And you've been doing that drive for a few years now.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about the Mel Savage journey to here at VNL.
Yeah, so this is my 11th year with VNL, and the 11th year that Jared Murphy, head coach, and I have actually been together. So we're a little bit like husband and wife team of netball.
Yep.
So yeah, I love it. I think what I love about it, in particular in our Geelong region, is the pool of talent that we have. We are very blessed that we actually look after the whole region. We've got a lot of girls from Warrnambool, from the Hampton League, from Geelong, from the western suburbs. We have a couple of Melbourne girls. I just love it, absolutely love it. It's a different challenge every year because the playing group changes slightly, so it's great.
Perfect. And tell us a little bit about some of there's always a Geelong netballer that's playing for the Vixens.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a few elsewhere now as well.
Yes.
Tell us some of the girls that have gone through the pathway.
So we've Ali Smith,
yes,
Zara Walters, they're the two most recent. But yeah, I think Geelong's a great area for talent. You know, netball is part of the fabric. The Netball Football League is really, really strong. We also have really strong junior programs in Geelong. Sue's Manny in charge of Bowen Sports Academy. We have some great coaches involved with Bowen state titles. But I think the best thing is that we have really good school netball systems as well.
Yep.
Which
Di Honey's been a part of
Di
as well.
Honey has been a part of. Em Mannix came through. So there's lots of Ruby Barkmeyer. So there's heaps of really good netball.
Tegan Phillips.
Caitlin Thwaites is now down there helping. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
The Geelong Vixens.
Well, it would be great if we could have a Geelong SSN team, but that's conversation for another day.
Yeah, because there's not quite the stadium in Geelong.
No, look, I think that's really something that the area is missing, infrastructure for a stadium that is solely netball. Yeah. That we could host SSN games, training, everything. That's a plan and something that we hope locally and federally that the government gets involved in.
I'm sure Netball Vic would love to be a part of that as well. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it would be remiss of us if we didn't perhaps mention Simone McInnes as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolute legend of the area. Yeah. Has a little statue outside of GMHBA Stadium. She's definitely, brought so much to the sport, and we'll happily call her a Geelong girl forever.
Yeah, that's fair enough. As have you. So talk us a bit about your involvement in netball in terms of the development side of things.
Yeah, I think when I finished playing, I kind of naturally transitioned to coaching. For me, it's about the development of the person as well as the player. So I started as an apprentice in the state system, and then obviously got an opportunity with Cougars. So at the moment I'm doing a lot of work in the Barwon state titles development area, and my huge love at the moment is coaching my 12-year-old daughter in her netball
What does she
pathway.
think about that?
Well, look, she loves it now.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's been around netball for a very long time,
Yes.
so my expectations are probably a little higher than some, but as long as she's loving it, and she does, she absolutely loves
Love it.
it. And, you know, I mentioned to the Champ girls the other day, if you can't see it, you can't be it.
Yep.
And I'm a really strong believer in that, and watching her progress, she's a defender, so her idol is Brooke Allen, which is a
Nice
pretty
one.
good idol to
Yeah,
have.
it's a very good idol to have.
The other day she said to me, oh, I was like Brooke there on court. And I said, well, hang on, we've got a few more years to go. But yeah, as long as she's loving it, that's the main thing.
Love to hear that. Now, you're also a TID scout for Netball Vic, and Assoc Champs are coming up soon. Tell us a little bit about what goes on there.
Yeah, so it's a really exciting time, I think, too, Association Champs. They are the next generation,
Yep.
15s, 17s of the up-and-coming Vixen state programs, what have you. So I'm lucky enough to going to be involved in the Western region on the 1st of June, which is a huge growth area for netball, and a really strong one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the weekend, looking at the next talent possibly for state teams. Yeah, it'll be really exciting.
Yeah, and of course that reaches up to Ballarat as well.
It
so,
does.
yeah.
It's down from Warrnambool all the way up to Ballarat.
Yeah.
So a huge area.
Yeah, so when you see the girls at high school or secondary school the next day and they've got the numbers on the legs, you know that they've been to Assoc Champs.
Yes, they have.
They're trying their hardest to
Yeah,
get
they have.
scouted by the likes of yourself,
Yeah.
and there's obviously others, and of course they all
Yes.
happen across the
Yeah.
state. What do you actually look for? So if you're talking to this young
Yeah.
15-year-old now, what
Yeah.
is it that she has to do on the court to catch your eye?
I think it's execution of the basics exceptionally every time and consistently. I think that's a brand of Netball Victoria, making sure your basics are excellent.
Yeah.
And then, look, obviously a little bit of an X factor.
Yes.
You want someone to stand out, and yeah, I'm a true believer if they've got an X factor, you don't want to coach that out of them, you just want to develop it more.
Yeah.
So yeah, basics and that X factor.
Yeah, I like that. Look, we'll wrap it up, but so nice of you to join us here on the Transverse Line and obviously give up your time before the game tonight.
Thank you.
We wish you all the very best, and of course, is there Saturday netball for you as well? Like, what
No,
happens?
I've taken the Saturday off
Okay,
netball
yep,
to watch my own children play their sport.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Perfect. Again, thanks so much for joining us. A little gift from Energetic as a thank you to you, Mel.
Thank you,
So
Ange.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Welcome back to the Transverse Line. I'm joined by Lindy Murphy, who is the current 23s team manager of Melbourne University Lightning. Thanks for joining the Transverse Line.
My pleasure, Ange.
So it's a big night tonight at VNL. It's Pride Round. It means a lot to you.
It does mean a lot to me.
Tell us why.
Well, Melbourne Uni Lightning back in 2016 made a decision to support the LGBTI community by really going out there and talking about Pride Round, why it's so important to acknowledge LGBTI, the role they play in our community. We started off by wearing rainbow-coloured bibs, socks, ribbons, bought the same apparel for umpires and score bench officials. Netball Victoria were very supportive and encouraging. So in 16 and 17, we took to the court, spruiking our message that it's okay to be gay. We want you in our club. You have a lot to offer. We're going to provide a really safe environment so that you can thrive, just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And in 2018, we were able to implement the dress.
And what a dress. So it's got the lightning bolts on it.
It has.
Obviously the Melbourne University lightning bolt, but they are the rainbow lightning bolts.
They are.
Yeah.
We're very proud of it.
Yeah, so
very
you should
proud.
be. And of course, as you just mentioned, then Netball Vic obviously took on board what you had done, realised what a great initiative, and then have made a round of it.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
And it's so great to see everybody getting on board,
Yep.
as they should.
Absolutely.
You know, these people are a very important part of our community. They deserve a place in our sport as much as anyone.
Yep.
And if we can provide a very welcoming and safe environment where they can be true to themselves, then we're doing a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, RACV have jumped on. We're obviously here
Yes.
at the entrance of the centre, who have been a really great supporter of the initiative and lots of things that Netball Victoria do.
Are able to do.
Yeah. So you obviously have been a stalwart in netball. I don't put a year on it. I just say that you're a stalwart in netball. Tell us a little bit about some of the other roles that you have done in your netball journey. And I know there is a lot.
There's a lot.
And I know you've got a game that you've got to get to. I know I just told the coach.
I did work for Netball Victoria for 17 years.
Yeah.
And had a wonderful career with the organisation, working across a range of different roles, from junior development to delivering a sports science program, and then spent the majority of my time with Netball Vic in the role of business manager for what was then Melbourne Phoenix and Melbourne Kestrels, who became the Vixens. So delivering their events, lots of promotional programs to actually promote both teams. That was challenging. We had to come a long way very, very quickly, and it took a lot of work from a lot of people to bring us where we needed to be.
The professionalism of the sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that we have arrived. There's still a long way to go. But when I first started in 1990,
I was going to say the 19 is enough. Yeah.
exactly, we were called the sleeping giant. This giant of a sport that just couldn't awaken people's imaginations and want to be involved. By the end of the Commonwealth Bank Trophy, we'd become the awakening giant, and now we are the giant in women's sport in Australia. And it's just, the journey's been amazing, absolutely amazing, and I've been lucky to be a part of that at a state level, an international level and a national level. It's been fabulous.
Yeah. You in your roles, and I know I've worked with you in terms of the team management or the game management.
Yes.
So in terms of the Vixens game day, we would have Lindy side of court making sure that everything is going to plan, working with the broadcasters, working with the teams, working with the venue, making sure that everything works. Can you tell us something that went wrong but no one knew about? Is there anything that's gone wrong but you were able to just make it run so smoothly that the crowd, the players or whoever broadcast, they just weren't aware?
There's lots of things that happen behind the scenes, and as I try to say to everybody that I work with, nobody but us has the actual run sheet. So no one sitting in the crowd or watching at home on TV knows what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So as long as we can take the catastrophe back a house and sort it out, most people are not going to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's been many things, simple things like the match balls haven't been delivered to the bench.
And they're pretty important.
Yeah. We've had goalposts fall down.
Yes.
And not had a spare goalpost. Lights turn off. There was a huge drama for the Netball World Cup in 2015, where after day 4 we had to take the court up and relay it.
Oh wow.
That was massive, overnight, and that took an enormous workforce, a lot of contingency planning, and that's the key to it. Having very clear contingency plans where everybody knows their role,
very true.
so that when something doesn't go to plan, people know what their role in making it happen is.
Yes, you must have some very good blood pressure, like just being able to like flatline through it all.
I think I've got better.
And you would have seen a lot of change here, like in terms of the time that you have said that you've been involved in netball. Like this stadium is obviously an amazing legacy to netball now in Victoria, but it used to be a shed over the other side.
And that's where I played.
Yeah.
And when I was an assistant coach with Melbourne Phoenix and their strength and conditioning coach, and we delivered all the state team programs, that's where we played, in that shed.
Yeah.
And our offices were actually in the army barracks. It used to be the army barracks.
Yeah.
And first of all, we then had the new stadium in 2001, which was magnificent, and we were the envy of every other state. And now we've got this beautiful facility. And we deserve it. We've worked hard for it, and our players and our coaches and our umpires and administrators deserve a venue like this to be able to do what we do well.
Yeah, and that. I know it's the rainbow tonight, but those doors every Wednesday night see the best coaches, the best athletes, the best umpires, administrators, bench officials, strength and conditioning. They all walk through those doors on a Wednesday night to play VNL. Yeah,
and it's a magnificent facility. We've got, which we've never had the luxury of having. We even have courts available to warm up on.
Yeah.
So we're not warming up in the car park anymore. And that's what we should have. Yeah. We deserve that.
Yeah. Jenny Dole doesn't have to run around telling everyone to stop running up and down the corridors.
No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I'll swing you back just to Melbourne Uni Lightning. One last question to wrap things up, because I know you've got a game to get to. What is it that makes Melbourne University Lightning the club that it is? You've been there for an extended period of time. What makes it such a great club?
I think it's our respect for one another. There's a lot of integrity. There's a huge expectation that people, regardless of what they can contribute, because people can contribute, it depends on what's going on in their life. Sometimes you can give more one year than you can another year. That's okay. But it's about that mutual respect for everybody's role and everybody being in the boat and rowing it the same way.
Yeah.
And we've worked very, very hard on our culture and the way we treat people, how inclusive we are. And it's a big family. Yeah. It's just a really nice environment. And I think one of the nicest thing is you'll have players who may feel, they weren't getting on the court enough, or
that's sport.
Exactly.
And at an elite level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they'll go somewhere else. Yeah. And we wish them well. Yeah. And we always say the door is open. And it's amazing how many of them come back a couple of years later.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Lindy Murphy, you are an absolute treasure to the sport of netball at all levels, both community level but right through to international level. You are certainly well known for all the right reasons.
Thank you.
Amongst the netball fraternity. So it is an honour for me to have you on the Transverse Line, and I wish you all the very best.
Great to be here, and I think I'm the lucky one. Netball has been incredibly good to me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to DHM Talent Management, we'll whip through the scores of round 9, Pride round of the VNL. And we'll start with the Championship Division, where it was Casey Demons, too good for the Western Warriors, 77-68. Burundara Express, big winners over the Gippsland Stars, 72-29. Geelong Cougars, just not quite good enough for the North East Blaze, 43-47. And Peninsula Waves getting their first win of the year, 58 to Melbourne University Lightning, 52. In the 23s, Casey Demons going down by just 2 goals to the Western Warriors, 58-60. Burundara Express, too good for the Gippsland Stars, 61-43. Geelong Cougars, not quite good enough for North East Blaze, 41-47. And Peninsula Waves going down to the Melbourne University Lightning, 44-48. 2 games to round out round 9 of Pride round. So on Friday, we'll see the Wilson Storage Southern Saints at home against the City West Falcons, and the Bendigo Strikers will take on Hawks Netball on Sunday. Of course, all those scores are brought to you by DHM Talent Management. That's it for another episode of the Transverse Line. Thanks so much for joining us. A big thank you to our sponsors, both Energetic and DHM Talent Management, and a massive thanks to our two guests at Pride Round, both Mel Savage from the Geelong Cougars and Lindy Murphy from Melbourne University Lightning. Two great people that give a lot back to netball. So until next week, I hope you can join us back on the Transverse Line and have a little bit of fun through netball.